Okay, let's get started on another example. So this is section 8.7. This is example 2. And so we're looking at this new network here that we have, and it looks very similar to the one we had before, but the costs have changed. And so these numbers here are the costs and the supplies and demands. And so you see here we have our demands of minus 18 and our supplies 10, 6, and then B3 is 2. I ended up putting it over here because I ran out of room. Good. And now to start off the network simplex algorithm, we have a balance problem. And so to start things off, we need a spanning tree. And so we can't just use any spanning tree. We have to use a spanning tree that gives us a feasible solution. So I typically will give you that for now. Well, if we had more time in class, we would examine how to get that more carefully. But for us right now, here's the sample spanning tree that we're going to start with. And so just remembering that this is 10 in, 6 in, that's 10 out, and that's 8 out, and that's 2 in. Okay, can we figure out what the flow is on the spanning tree? Well, the formula that we could use is that the BI is equal to the outflow minus the inflow. Okay, so in this case, we just have the one outflow for node 1, so that must be 10. Then over here at node 2, we have 10 in and 6 in, and so that's 16. So how much do I need here to come out? Let's see, well, I'm going to need 10 here, right? And so that means I've got 6 left over, 6 there. Okay, then 6 and 2 is 8, so that must be 8 down here. And there we go. These are the flow values here are all positive, and therefore this is a BFS. Good. Now what do we do with the BFS? Remember the technique? The way we start our BFS, or the way we examine the BFS, is we find the solution to the dual. So let's do that. I'm going to pause here while I write this down. Alright, so next we're going to be computing the solution to the dual using our basic edges here. And so the basic solution came off of edges 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, and 2, 5 it looks like, huh? That's a 1, 3 there. Good. And so the reason we write this down here is because we need those IJs, right? And so we're going to compute this using the Cij is equal to Yi minus Yj. Good. So let's just write down our costs then. Cost for x12, I've got them listed here, but you could come back up here and write them all down here if you want to. Okay, but I'll just go ahead and list them down. 3, 2, 4, 10. Okay, and so that's going to be equal to, now y1, this is going to be y1 minus y2, right? So that's going to be 0 minus y2. And so therefore y2 is minus 3. Good. And now here we have 0 minus y3. And so therefore y3 is minus 2. And so here we have y3 minus y4. So y3 minus y4. And so therefore y4 must be, I need to make a correction before I go any further because I just realized I made an error here. So this is actually not x13 but x23. So let's put x23 there. So that cost was giving me the 2, and then this changes, right? Because now it's y2 minus y3, and so y2 is minus 3 minus y2, or sorry, y3. And so now I get y3. Good. So now y3 is negative 5, I guess, huh? Good. Now things are making a little more sense here. So this is going to be minus 5 minus y4. And so what would y4 have to be? y4 it looks like is going to have to be minus 9, right? And then finally, x25 comes from c25 y2, which was minus 3, minus y5. And so what would y5 have to be? y5 has to be minus 13. Good. Alright, so now we have all of our y's down. y1 is equal to 0. And so we may just keep track of those here. It just happened that they were in order, by the way. I didn't mean for that to happen. Good. Okay, now what's left? Now I have to compute the values. I have to compute row 0 values on the non-basic variables, right? What are my non-basic variable edges here? x13, x14, x35, and what else? x45. And you can double check me on that. Now we're going to be using I never leave myself enough room up here. This is going to be the Cij minus yi plus yj, right? So it's a little bit different than the top. Okay, so it looks like this is going to be 3 is the cost, 4 is the cost, 3, 1. So notice we were always using the costs, by the way, too. So now we plug in our y's. So this was minus y1 plus y3. So we'll just go ahead and leave it like that. Let's see, x14 is going to be using y1, which was 0, and then y4, which is negative, and then 3,5 is going to be using 3, which is 5, so that's negated, right? And then minus 13. Okay, and then 4, 5 will give me let's see, y4 is negative 9, so minus 9 is plus 9, and then plus y5, which is minus 13. Good. And so these values are negative 2, negative 5, negative 5, negative 3. So what do we do here? We look for the values that are most negative. And we see that we have a tie. And so there's lots of ways you can deal with a tie. In my case, I think we'll just go ahead and pick the first one. And so what we're doing here is we're picking an arc to come in, and so arc 1, 4 will come in as a basic variable. Okay, or I should say x14 will come in as the basic variable. Oop. But of course, if I bring in x14, what happens? Yes, I get a loop, and so the loop is here. Does everybody see that? Okay, and so if I bring in x14, whoops, thing moved here. Let me bring in the red. I need to redraw that real quick. Okay, so if I need to bring this in as a theta, I'm going to be moving in this direction, and so the 8 will become 8 minus theta because we're moving opposite the direction of 8. So in place of the 8, we're going to have 8 minus theta, and in place of the 6, we'll have 6 minus theta. And 10, is 10 going in the same direction? No, it's going in the opposite direction, so 10 minus theta. Good. So then how big can theta be? I think theta can be equal to 6, right? So theta equals 6. And then, do you see what's going to happen now? In our edges, let me put the new values in here. This will be 6. This will be 8 minus 6, which is 2. Oop, the edge 4, 5 just went away. This 6 minus theta now goes away, right? And then 10 minus 6 becomes 4. Good. Let's see. Get rid of that. Oh, we didn't have 4, 5. Okay, so I think we're all set now, right? Okay, so I'll redraw that down below here, and we'll start over again. Actually, I see we're at 10 minutes, so I'm going to start the next video at this point, and then we'll go from there.